All right, what up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, another episode of the Crypto Breakdown. I am your host, Ryan Mehta. Coin of the day, Flux. Can this coin 2x, 5x, 10x? I definitely think this coin has a lot to offer. So I want to do a deep dive into Flux. I want to talk about the tokenomics. I want to make some price predictions, and let's dive in. Let's get it. So in this video, I want to do a deep dive into Flux. I want to take a look at Flux on Lunar Crush, which tracks cryptocurrency's popularity. I want to dive over here to Masari. I want to do a deep dive into Flux and the actual metrics. I want to jump over here to CoinMarketCal. I want to talk about upcoming events. I want to talk about the amount of countries that are actually investing in Bitcoin. And one of the reasons I'm so bullish on Flux is because I'm so bullish on Cadena. So if you guys haven't saw my Cadena videos, check it out, because the majority of people that bought into Cadena when I told them to at $1.43 are up over 500% in the last, like 7 days or something like that. Come over here to the charts and I want to make price predictions. I want to chart out the market structure. I want to talk about key retrace targets. I want to talk about support levels and actually make some price predictions for 2021 all the way into 2025. And then last but not least, I want to talk about the tokenomics for Flux. I want to talk about the market cap, circulating supply. I want to talk about how much money needs to be invested in this coin for it to 2x, 5x, 10x. But before we do, I gotta let you guys in on a little secret. Definitely not a financial advisor. Anything that you see, hear, or read on this channel is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and I would never advise that you buy, sell, trade, or hodl any cryptocurrency. With that being said, let's dive in, let's get it. So let's start off at the very beginning. In case you're new to the channel, how market cap is actually calculated is its supply times price equals market cap. So the amount of coins that are in circulation multiplied by the price gives you a market cap. So that shows you the total dollar value of all Flux that's out in circulation today. So when I look at investing in a cryptocurrency, this doesn't necessarily show you the total dollar value of that cryptocurrency. It shows you what all of these coins, if they were sold, would be worth, right? But obviously if everybody started selling those coins at once, the market cap would drop drastically, because there's not actually $130 million invested in this coin. That's just the value of the market cap. If we talk about making price predictions for this coin at 60 cents to 2x, right? The market cap would need to go from 130 million to 260 million. I would guesstimate that maybe 30 million, maybe 60 million could come into the market, actually dollar value, and it would take this coin up to that next level. Put it this way, when Bitcoin has a market cap of 800 billion, if $1 billion comes into the market, it could pump Bitcoin by 10%. So just to give you guys an idea, I think that we could easily see Flux with a price point of $6 going into 2022, 2023. I think this bull run, we could easily see Flux maybe 2x, if not 5x. So I think that a $3 price range for Flux would be very realistic. Flux would only have a market cap of 660 million. Now, if we take a look at coins that are similar to Flux, and we're gonna dive into what Flux actually is here in a minute. Coins like ICP, they have a market cap of $8 billion. So if Flux had that same market cap, being a decentralized Web3 application, I definitely think that we could easily see Flux with a price point of $8 billion or a market cap of 8 billion. I don't think that's unrealistic at all. So now you guys can kind of see that it's not necessarily the amount of dollars that are invested in the cryptocurrency. Picture it this way. If I had 50 Ethereum and you had 50 Ethereum and the market cap, say, was $1 million, if neither of us wanted to sell, how does an exchange entice buying or selling, right? If there's more buy orders and sell orders on the hourglass, the price goes up. So if the price goes up, but neither of us have bought or sold any Ethereum, right? The market cap still goes up in value. So you guys can see that there's not necessarily that amount of money that's actually being invested into these coins. And that's why they call them pump groups, because a group of individuals can get together and strategically invest. It'll pump that coin up, and then hopefully that pump causes more people to come and FOMO in behind it, and then those people can exit those trades, and it ends up dropping on the people that weren't intelligent enough to realize that it was a pump and FOMO'd into it at peak formation. So when I take a look at a coin like Flux and we talk about market structure, do I think Flux is just pumping and dumping? I don't, because I don't see any of those really wicks. Like if you take a look at a coin like, similar to like when you see something like this in a way, and we jump onto like a 1 hour time frame, the market structure really looks solid. It doesn't look like, you don't see those crazy parabolic pumps and then dumps. We're going back all the way to May. So this was when, the bull run was actually peaking. And I think we've seen Flux all the way up to like 99 cents. Over here, I wasn't really a fan of this market structure. See how we would run up and then right all the way back down to bottom, right? no support. It was getting momentum, and then I assume it just didn't have the community there, and it was being sold off, and then it was running up and then being sold off and coming back lower than it originally was. It looks like now that you must be having that community growth, because it looks like as it's pumping up and putting in all-time highs, all-time highs, all-time highs, new all-time high, right? Finally, we can see Flux actually started to stabilize and maintain support above 32 cents. So it's looking like that 28 cents is going to be the floor on this one. Now, no guarantees, right? Because of previous past price action, sell off, return to bottom, sell off, return to bottom, even lower than bottom, lower low, lower low, lower low. Really, really bad performance for Flux over here. Putting in higher high, higher high, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Beautiful, beautiful market structure. This, I can see it right here, are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Run that back one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extended fifth, puts in that higher high, completes that macro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which turns into our, completes our micro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turns into our macro 1, rise, retrace, rise, retrace, rise. We take a look here at market structure, proper Elliott wave market structure. Remove all these drawings. If we pull this fib out and we talk about proper market structure, where would we have been calling for the ideal retrace to on Flux? And if you notice, you take a look at Cadena's market structure as well. I assume it was around the similar timing because it looks really similar as far as market structure goes. I would assume this was probably around the time that Cadena went up to 240 and then retraced down all the way down to 141. It looks very, very similar. So we've seen Flux come all the way down here to 28 cents. I told you guys to buy Flux at about 32 cents or 33 cents the other night when I first started to really dive deeper and explore the Cadena ecosystem and where things are evolving. Flux and the Flux wallet, which we'll get into here in a minute, and their Web3 applications are really interesting. So my next target up is going to be calling for a price point of about 95 cents based off of Elliott wave and market structure. It's looking like if this was, and it did look like beautiful market structure, right? And this market structure continues to hold, this should be our macro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the peak of altcoin season going into 2020. Now, because this is such a good low cap coin, for this coin to have a price point of $1.20 or even be in that range, the market cap only needs to be roughly $260 million. When I chart things out, I think I'm drastically underestimating the price potential of where a coin like Flux can go. I used to be so adamant about how many coins a coin had in circulation. I definitely think that you don't want to see 50 billion or more coins in circulation. Now, there are those exceptions like OR, which are very, very rare considering how many scam coins come out with a quadrillion coins in circulation. It's very rare. So anytime you see a coin with a supply in the millions with a reasonable price point and a really low market cap, I still consider this a low cap gem because I think you could easily see this coin 100x. And for this coin to 100x, the market cap only needs to be 10 billion. So anytime I look at a cryptocurrency and I can 100x my investment in a couple year period of time if I just hodl and hold this, and gosh forbid we go into a crazy parabolic altcoin season or people see the real value in the infrastructure that Flux is actually building, I think the sky is really the limit on where a coin like Flux can go. Now we jump over here to Lunar Crush. Lunar Crush tracks cryptocurrencies based off of popularity. As far as an altcoin ranking, 308. So altcoin ranking is the performance of the altcoin versus Bitcoin's performance over the last couple of months. Now we can take a look and we can see social volume up 152%, social engagement up 38%, social dominance up 36%, social contribution up 128%. Every single aspect about this coin besides the average sentiment is up. I look at an altcoin ranking not necessarily as its performance, but how popular that coin is getting. Because anytime that Flux is normally like the #1 performing altcoin, that we can see the other day, it got up into the hundreds over here, and over here it was in the 90s as well. So like we can see over here yesterday, the 25th, yesterday, Flux was in the top 10 most popular cryptocurrencies. And you can say it's performance against Bitcoin, but normally when it's performing that well against Bitcoin, it's how popular that coin is. We can talk about influencers. There's no real big influencers talking about this coin yet. Altcoin ranking, Galaxy score. You need level 2 access now to actually view these things. So it looks like Lunar Crush upgraded their network. So now we got to pay over here on Lunar Crush. So unfortunately, the rich get richer. We come over here to Masari. Again, Flux is one of those new gems, guys. It's barely any information over here on Lunar Crush, barely any information over here on Masari. Let's take a look at CoinMarketCal, Flux DeFi, and XDAO, Flux governance site, governance acceptance vote, NFT giveaway for holding and viewing NFTs in Zelcore. So Flux DeFi, how sweet is that? So we're gonna see the Flux DeFi ecosystem start to explode right about the same time we see Cadena's ecosystem for DeFi explode. That's gonna be exciting. Now, if we jump over here to Fiat Leak, oh my gosh, guys, look at how bullish. I don't know how Bitcoin is not just screaming up right now. You guys see me show you guys this in almost every video. I'm not sure how it looks on your guys' end, but that is almost a straight, like it's like a river. It's no longer like a paintball gun. It's like a river delta. So what you're seeing there is the network effect of Bitcoin and how popular Bitcoin is getting and how it's getting adopted on a global scale, because we are on the verge of hyperinflation. When hyperinflation sets in and people start to panic about what to do with their money, and people start to realize that Bitcoin is that best store of value, and we see that shift happen from, what do I do with my fiat money that's depreciating in value at 5 to 15% a month, which is just, at the very least, it's 2%. But we already know that they are actually manipulating the models that actually show what the actual inflation rate is. Because the inflation rate's going up so high, they're changing the model on how they're actually calculating the algorithm. So it shows that the inflation on goods and different services is going down, but there's famous people like Jack Dorsey. If you haven't read his tweets and watched what this guy's talking about, please do. It's very, very interesting. And same with Anthony Popolano's most recent video on it. It's really, really mind-blowing to see. But when you see Bitcoin getting purchased like it's getting purchased at an all-time high, for the most part, 63,000, 66,000, it's really close to an all-time high. I mean, people were very leery 6 months ago about buying Bitcoin at 60,000. Now it seems to be like, that's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm buying more Bitcoin every chance I get. Same with Cadena, every chance I get. Flux, I just bought $5,000 worth of Flux at 50 cents or 48 cents or something like that, and I'm probably gonna buy some more. It's coins like these that have the ability to get adopted on a global scale and really be a bigger player in incoming years. That I look at having a market cap at 100 million. This coin can 10x. I can take 10% out. I get my initial investment out, and now I'm just sitting there with what? 100% profits is play money at that point. So I definitely think that Flux has that major upside potential. But let's dive in and let's talk about what Flux actually is. So Flux is the new generation of scalable decentralized cloud infrastructure. Simply develop, manage, and spawn your application on multiple servers at once. Ready for Web3, dApps, and more? The Flux ecosystem is a fully operational suite of decentralized computing services and blockchains as a server solution, which offers an interoperable, decentralized AWS-like development environment. The ecosystem consists of the following components, which are fully deployed and operational. Flux, which is a native GPU mineable proof-of-work coin, providing incentives for hardware hosters, XDAO governance, on-chain, and bad actor mitigation via staking requirements for running hardware. Next generation decentralized Web3 computational network with more than 2,120 Flux nodes located all around the globe, providing 10,500 plus vCores of CPU power, 35 plus terabytes of RAM, and 800 terabytes of storage. Anyone can stand up a Flux node if they provide the required Flux collateral and hardware for one or three of the nodes. Flux nodes can be run on Raspberry Pis, PC, servers, VPS hardware, and from anywhere in the world. Flux nodes operate and are rewarded with Flux block rewards, but they are also able to earn other cryptocurrencies by hosting specific dApps on their nodes. So what's cool about the Flux, and I don't fully understand this, so don't quote me on it, but when Flux is bridging to other ecosystems, Solana, Ethereum, they are giving you basically Flux Sol, right? Or Flux Ethereum or Flux whatever. So when you're mining, you can actually make, or when you're securing the network, you can actually get rewarded twice the amount of rewards, because they reward you in Flux, which is your base currency, and then they also reward you with bonuses from up to 5 different cryptocurrencies. So you get up to like 13% from each one of those. So it ends up equating out to roughly about 2 times the rewards for mining on the Flux network. And again, don't quote me on that. I have the Flux team, I think, coming onto the show for an interview. So it'll be exciting to actually hear. I'm just trying to help put these coins on your guys' radar, because I definitely think they have major upside potential. I know they're the real deal. I know they're legit, and you guys always need to do your own research, but the research that I'm doing and that I'm sharing with you guys leads me to be extremely bullish on coins like these, where I think the massive upside potential is there, and the risk versus reward about where I'm buying into this cryptocurrency at. If we go into a parabolic peak altcoin season and the market comes down 60, 70, 80% like it normally does, do I have time to safely get into this cryptocurrency, ride it up? If I don't want to take any profits, or I miss my opportunity to take profits and the market goes bearish, am I going to be in the red at any point? Because that's what you don't want to be. So if you're able to accumulate an asset and gosh forbid you want to be a long-term hodler or you don't want to take profits, you want to make sure that you're really never going into a depreciating asset. And I think coins like Flux, with so much real world utility and DeFi and the adoption of the Zelcore wallet, which if you guys haven't seen the Zelcore wallet, is probably one of my favorite cryptocurrency wallets in the game. Now, definitely not intelligent enough to really figure out and understand everything about how that cryptocurrency wallet works, because there's no seed phrases that kind of rub me the wrong way, but they had two-step authentication. I think I'm not quite understanding exactly what the Zelcore wallet is, but from a user experience of being really easy to navigate where your cryptocurrencies are, it shows you your portfolio, it has so much utility. It's really a sharp wallet. So if you guys get time, check that out. And I hopefully will have the Zelcore team on the show as well. Flux operating system runs on top of Linux. It's designed to manage the network by verifying benchmark computing power, deploying and running load balancing decentralized applications, managing XDAO governance, and more. Any hardened, Dockerized app can be deployed via FluxOS, and the network is currently hosting more than 30 dApps, including blockchain infrastructure, social media, data oracles, websites, games, and file storage. Flux Fusion, a DeFi bridge providing accessibility to major decentralized exchanges as a Uniswap and PancakeSwap. So you have Flux Fusion, which is actually bridging two DeFi platforms. So it's almost like you have this entire ecosystem, like kind of like a PancakeSwap, and then you also have the crypto wallet aspect of it. Then you also have the Web3 decentralized version of the internet. Like the Flux ecosystem, it reminds me so much of Polkadot, ICP, HNT. Like you guys see where this is going, where Flux is building this multiple-sided marketplace. And if you guys missed my video on Cadena, you guys really should watch it, because I really explain what a marketplace is. Not a marketplace where you go in shopping and buy some fruit, right? Or an NFT marketplace where you're buying and selling NFTs or buying and selling crypto. I'm talking about a marketplace, a strip mall-like facility, where if I have a restaurant in a strip mall, my service can be less, my quality of food can be less, and my prices can be higher. I can provide a lower quality of service because I'm surrounded by gyms, laundromats, hair salons, nail salons, that I will get a lot of that trickle down business just out of convenience of my location. So it's harder to disrupt a business or a cryptocurrency like that when it has so many different marketplaces that kind of add value, because you have to add more value on every other aspect. It's coins like Flux that are building. You see them building DeFi. You see them having the crypto wallet. You see them having mining rewards with both GPU miners. What do you think is going to happen when all the Ethereum GPU miners and all of that hash power goes back out into the network? It's going to disrupt the price of cryptocurrency. It's going to disrupt the price of any GPU mining, because there's going to be so much hardware going into the network. It's going to naturally bring down that price of Ethereum. I think people are sadly mistaken about what's actually going to happen when everybody's Ethereum that's been locked up for like 2 to 3 years now in staking, when they planned on only locking it for a few days, it's now appreciated probably 5 or 10x from the time that they actually started staking it. And then you see projects like Flux. Do you think Flux is going to 10x before Ethereum? I definitely think Flux will, because it just needs a small amount of capital. Where I love Ethereum and I think Ethereum's going to 10x eventually, but is it going to happen as fast as Flux? I don't think so, because the competition is out there now. Like every other cryptocurrency has already started to put the ball in motion to bridge to these other ecosystems. So where Ethereum really had that stronghold originally, I don't think that they have the best tech. I don't think they have the best technology anymore. I don't think they have the best strategy. I don't think they have the best ecosystem. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how proof of stake, because it's Ethereum and they have the teams of 1,000 people. So it's going to be really hard to overthrow an Ethereum. I don't think any other application will, but I do think that there are applications like Flux that have potential to be more profitable, both short and long term, than Ethereum. But you also come into the fact that Flux hasn't been battle tested. Flux doesn't have the community. Flux doesn't have so many things. So this is definitely a higher risk community. Another key thing to talk about Flux is its proof of work. Flux was also Zcash, and then they basically went out of business or converted to Flux, right? I would assume that the reason they did that has part to do with the SEC and regulations. Maybe when Zcash was started, people invested in Zcash and planned to make a profit, but once it switched over and became Flux and now has nothing to do with Zcash, how do you really make that a security? And the only way people can accumulate more is by proof of work. So it's not where one person, it's decentralized. I think the government will have a very hard time classifying Flux as a security. Now, we've only had one crypto asset, aka Bitcoin, get deemed a property. I think Cadena will most likely be the second. Ethereum maybe, because they started out proof of work. But Cadena also had no pre-mine. I think Flux had no pre-mine. But again, I'll find out more as soon as they come on the show for an interview. So stay tuned for that. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. And Let's go over these price predictions one more time. So when I'm talking about flux and price predictions, say people see the value in flux and this coin really starts to take off running, because I think once it does, it's a cryptocurrency that people are going to see the value, the long-term value in, and it makes sense to try to hodl as much as you can. Now, I plan to play the DeFi game and earn rewards and stake and make money in my sleep 24/7. I don't really plan to sell much of my crypto, especially with hyperinflation now. It's not one of those things where I think crypto's booming and we're all going to take profits and the market's going to go 75% off. You know, I don't think that that's like the mindset anymore. I think that we will see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually turn into like the macro, larger scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which if we follow the same market structure that we've pretty much followed so far on almost every other coin that's similar to Flux, I think by end of 2022, maybe going into 2023, and I think 2023 to 2024 is just going to be that bearish stretch for us if it doesn't happen sooner. I think we can see a price point of roughly $1.49 to $1.56 hit by the end of 2021. Going into 2022, I think we can see $2.34 as a real price target. And then sometime by 2023, I think we can see $3.82 at some point. It could happen by 2022. It could happen in the next couple of months. It could happen in the next couple of years. But I think that eventually that this is where the market will go, because to get to this point from where we are at right now, I mean, Flux wouldn't even need to have a $1 billion market cap and this would be a $6 cryptocurrency. I definitely think it has more potential than ICP. If Taproot doesn't take, which I think it's going to be very, very rare, if Taproot upgrade actually takes place, where I almost think that that's inevitably not going to happen. Between us, I think that the amount of power and the amount of miners that they're going to need to convince, and a lot of them are these big corporate enterprise businesses that know that Bitcoin does not need to change, and the risk that you take changing or upgrading or modifying Bitcoin. I think that more so the Taproot upgrade, a majority of people know that it's never going to take, but it's a marketing ploy. It gets people talking about Bitcoin on both sides. Do we upgrade? Do we not upgrade? And it becomes this big controversial event and it doesn't take place, but it gets so much media attention, which brings so much more money into Bitcoin in the market. So do I think the Taproot upgrade is going to take place? Do I think investing in ICP is a smart investment? I do not. That's just my personal opinion on it, though. I'm obviously no shape, way, form qualified to talk on that subject whatsoever. From an outside perspective, that's just my opinion. We've had so many of these Bitcoin upgrades and they need so much power. 90% of miners have to adopt and switch over once that hard fork gets initiated. And I think they have 3 months. And if 90% of the miners don't initiate in that 3-month period, everything reverts back to the old style. And if you hear Michael Saylor and any of these big shots that are actually like breaking things down on a psychological business to business models, it's like what you guys are going to risk jeopardizing for that upgrade to take place seems so like such a bad idea, but who knows? So I definitely think Ethereum's going to switch. Obviously proof of stake's coming, it's inevitable for Ethereum. And when that happens, you're talking about the second largest mined cryptocurrency in the United States, in the world. And all of the resources that have been dedicated to securing that network are going to flood out into the market. So anytime there's a drastic increase in difficulty, right, the network gets harder. The people that can actually compute that power on the highest level stay profitable, with the ones that can't end up losing money because their hardware just can't compete. So I think any old mining hardware is really going to get pushed off, which might end up bringing the price of a lot of different cryptocurrencies down. But I don't know enough about it. That's just from what I've seen on these different YouTube videos. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the channel. Again, my name's Ryan Matta. Flux to the moon, guys. I'll see you there. Peace.